Colleagues, we have already formed a quorum. Let's elect the chairman first. Members, we are here to elect the chairman for the Pilotage Amendment Regulation 2013 and Pilotage Amendment Ordinance 2013 Commencement Notice Subcommittee's chairman. And we have to have one member making the nomination to be seconded by at least one member. And the nomination has to be accepted by the one being nominated. Yes, any nomination, Mr. Sin Chung Kai? I nominate Mr. Frankie Yik. Any seconder? All right, we only have 3 people here. So, Mr. Frankie Yik, do you accept the nomination? Yes, I do. All right, any other nominations? As there is no other nomination, I declare Mr. Frankie Yik elected chairman of the subcommittee. So please come over to chair the meeting, please. Members, first thing to report to members is we received a letter from Mr. Yu Si Wing. He missed the deadline, but then he's interested in joining the subcommittee. So do members have any comments on that? Agree, Mr. Sin? I agree. All right, so I welcome to Mr. Yu Si Wing for joining the subcommittee. Okay, let's invite the administration team to join us.
Okay,
First of all, I welcome to the administration team. We have Ms. Jenny Chan, Principal Assistant Secretary for Transport and Housing, Mr. Chong Siu Man, Assistant Director, Port Control Marine Department, Ms. Mandy Ng, Senior Government Counsel, Acting Department of Justice. So members would like the administration team to brief us on the substance of the 2 pieces of subsidy legislation. Well, the legislation's objectives is very simple. In May this year, we enacted the Pilotage Ordinance, and we had the newly added Section 10D, and we have to prescribe the fee for that. And the purpose of this amendment is to set the fee. And what's the fee? Well, when the Marine Department receives an application for an exemption from compulsory pilotage, then we will have to deploy somebody from the Marine Department to inspect the ship and also to check if the master is competent to do the job. And there is a fee to be incurred. And the purpose of this regulation is to prescribe the fee. And on user pay principle, we propose that for the first hour is $3,270 for the first hour and part of the visit, and $1,115 for every subsequent hour. And then we have the commencement notice, and the purpose is to appoint the 1st of December as the commencement date for the pilotage regulation with regard to the prescription of a fee, and then under Section 5, which is related to fee, it has yet to come into effect, and therefore for the two provisions relating to fee, they will both come into effect on the 1st of December. Thank you. Any questions, Mr. Sin? I think it's also a question of cost recovery. All right, you're charging them over $3,000 an hour. So how many applications do you expect to see, and how long will it take for the Marine Department to complete its visit? All right. Well, for larger vessels, $5,000 or $6,000 for a 2-hour job is okay. But then for a smaller vessel, it's rather hefty a cost or a fee. So are you going to just recover the cost, or are you going to make a profit out of that? Yes, I think user pay principle is okay, and therefore the cost should be borne by the applicant. But then apparently the fee is quite high. All right, for the first hour is 3,000 plus, and then for the subsequent hours is over 1,000. Well, most of the vessels might not be small, and I suspect that that would take quite a long time to complete the inspection. So by small vessels, what do you mean? Because only those over 3,000 tons would be eligible. So they are the so-called medium size vessels. Well, for ocean liners, over tens of thousands of tons, of course, they are very large vessels. But then for cargo vessels, if you're talking about a few thousand tons, then they are medium-sized vessels only. Yes, Mr. Chong, with regard to those vessels applying for exemption from compulsory pilotage, in fact, there are only a very handful, as far as we can recall, only one plying between the Hong Kong, Macau, or the China Hong Kong pier would be eligible, because it's a frequent commuting vessel, and the master is very familiar with Hong Kong waters. That's why it's already exempted, unless they are going to replace the master, and then we will have to conduct on-site visit and examination, and then the fee will be charged. Otherwise, there is no fee to be incurred. Mr. Sin, so throughout the system, so basically there might not be any application at all, is that right? Well, there is a development or an evolution process. Well, by now we only have one left. It's difficult for us to say when there might be an application. That's why this mechanism has been there for some time, and all along this fee has been included in another piece of legislation. And last time when we amended the ordinance, the DFJ gave us this advice, saying that it's not very desirable to have it in another piece of legislation. That's why it's suggested that it's better to prescribe the fee under the pilotage ordinance, so that the sector would have a better idea as to how the fee would be charged. But then have you made any adjustment to that at all? No, no adjustment. So in the past, we've been charging this, and there's been no increase or reduction to the fee level. So the same amount has been included in this subsidiary legislation. All right. I also have some views to share. But then, Mr. Sin, if I were the ship owner, then I would apply for this exemption, because if I do not make the application, then every time I have to pay the pilotage fee. And if I am going in and out of the harbor very frequently, then I'll be paying a lot more. And therefore, I think it's still better, even if the fee is not low.
Common sense.
Yes, I think this is common sense. I understand. But why is it that there have been so few applications? Yes, please give a reply. Now, there is this pilotage ordinance, and exemptions are granted to special cases. But then concerning this vessel in question, it plies in and out of Hong Kong on a daily basis. And so the master is very familiar with Hong Kong waters. But for other ocean-going vessels, they do not visit Hong Kong too often. And the masters are willing to hire Hong Kong pilots so as to ensure safety within Hong Kong waters. Mr. Yu Siwing. Yes, I want to get some background information as far as I understand. Now concerning the pilots, there aren't too many of them in Hong Kong, about 100 or so. And I understand that many of them are approaching retirement age. Now, some say that as there is a shortage of manpower supply, exemptions have to be applied so as to lessen the pressure on the manpower situation. But then we have the cruise terminal, which has been commissioned, and more cruises will be visiting Hong Kong. And also there will be freight vessels, passenger cruises visiting Hong Kong, and the number will rise. So what is the administration doing to train local pilots? Because I'm worried that in the future we may not have enough pilots. And then you said that at the moment only one vessel is applying for exemption. So what if we have more vessels applying in the future? So will the fee be based on the size of the vessel, or is it that you would like to apply a flat rate? In other words, about $3,000 for the first hour and about $1,000 for each subsequent hour? Ms. Chen? Now, we have this exemption mechanism in place not because there is a shortage of pilots. Now, in fact, we do have some regular communication with the association, and there is an adequate supply of pilots. And in fact, over the past years, there were newcomers. We of course hope that more young people can choose this career and sit for the relevant exams to get the license. And we do provide a monthly allowance of $5,000 for young persons who are willing to join the seafaring industry. So this exemption mechanism doesn't seek to resolve the manpower shortage problem, so to speak. In fact, our paramount concern is safety. We want to make sure that non-local vessels can ply safely in or within Hong Kong waters. And it's not surprising that there are so few applications for exemption. With regard to cruises, we understand that the number of cruises will rise. We will continue to communicate with the association and the authority with a view to encouraging more young people to join the seafaring industry. At the moment, there is only one vessel applying for exemption. So do you think the number will increase in the future? We don't think there will be further applications apart from this one. For cruises visiting Hong Kong, they do not really visit Hong Kong too frequently, and so they won't be able to satisfy the requirements for getting exemption. So in other words, this whole mechanism is tailor-made for this single vessel. I wish to follow up. Now, in fact, we have more than one vessel plying in and out of Hong Kong on a regular basis or on a daily basis, berthing at the China-Hong Kong terminal. In fact, can a waiver be granted to them? In fact, it's like using a joystick. Is there really a need for pilotage? And then there are also vessels berthed at Kowloon Bay, and they go in and out of Hong Kong on a daily basis. So is your major concern insurance coverage? Is it that they may not be able to get insurance compensation if there are no pilots? I think the chairman is correct. In fact, we are passive in this regard. Will not invite people to apply for exemptions. Our paramount concern is safety. If we receive an application, we'll study the reasons for the application, and also we will consult the Pilotage authority. We will look at the qualifications of the master concerned, his experience in Hong Kong waters. And then we will also seek the views of the relevant authority, and then we will decide whether to grant the exemption. So for the time being, we only have one vessel applying for exemption. And this vessel has has retained this status for a number of years. And as for the other vessels, they can choose to apply, and we will look at the applications when we receive them. Mr. Alan Leung. No, the official said that safety was the overriding concern. This is, of course, correct. But on what basis can you come to the judgment that the vessel can ply safely in Hong Kong waters even without a pilot? And then the fee, about $3,000 for the first hour, and then about $1,000 for each subsequent hour. I understand that the Marine Department officer has to visit the ship and carry out inspection. In fact, can you give us more details about the work of this inspector? Yes, Chairman. Our paramount concern is the safety in Hong Kong water, safety of navigation. So what is important is the qualifications of the master, including his experience in plying Hong Kong waters. Now, pilots know the Hong Kong waters very well. They understand the marine traffic situation within Hong Kong waters very well. And so when a shipping company applies on behalf of the master, then we consider the experience of the master in Hong Kong waters. With regard to this vessel in question, we require the master to at least go in and out of Hong Kong waters 42 times per annum. So, of course, initially, he didn't have such experience, and so initially he had to be accompanied by a pilot. Then after the master has accumulated adequate experience, then the Pilotage Committee we'll look at whether the master is experienced enough, and then we'll send an inspector to board the ship to monitor the master's performance, how he operates the ship, whether he knows the marine traffic situation in Hong Kong waters, and also how the master communicates with the navigation center. So this is why we need to charge a fee for the work done by the inspector. Now concerning the amount, 3270 and then $1115 for each subsequent hour. How did you come up with these numbers or figures? Now the Treasury, Chairman, takes into account the remuneration of the staff concerned, and the Treasury tells us that for officers of this rank, when they provide service, such a fee should be charged. Thank you very much. The Civic Party supports this piece of subsidiary legislation. Mr. Yu, I hope that the administration will not give people the impression that we have worked out this mechanism for the benefit of one vessel only. When we have a policy, the policy should apply to all vessels. Although I know that at the moment there is only one vessel with this status. And as Mr. Allen Leung has pointed out, it's important that safety can be ensured, and then in future all eligible vessels can come forward to apply. So I just want you to better present your policy and your approach. And I hope that in future more vessels can apply for exemption. Now, if the masters have accumulated the necessary experience, then they should be welcome to apply for exemption. And I think we should make it clear that we are having this policy, and all vessels can apply if they want to. But of course, the Assistant Director has already said that, in fact, shipping companies can decide whether to apply or not. Yes, perhaps you wish to clarify. Now, in fact, I was replying to a question raised by Mr. Sim. He asked me how many vessels had applied, and I said one. This is a mechanism for all vessels, but at the moment there is only one vessel with this status. But then if other vessels also want this status, if they feel that this status will help increase operational efficiency, they are welcome to make use of this mechanism. In fact, we have all along had this fee, but then we hope to put this fee under the pilotage regulation for the sake of neatness. In future, when we receive applications for exemption, they will be dealt with under this mechanism. Right? Do members have any further questions? No? Then Mr. Allen Leung has already said that the Civic Party supports the regulation. Now, Mr. Sin, all my questions have been answered. I support the regulation. I don't think there is a need for another meeting. Do we need to do clause by clause scrutiny? But the substitute message is very simple. Mr. Yu, I have no further questions. All right. Thank you very much then.
就唔使再開會㗎咯，搞掂。